It's live, pal. I am the monger named Chill, and I liked Thor Love and Thunder, and I'm not afraid to admit that to any of you buffoons. It was okay. I know what the box office did. I'm aware. 663 million, 100 million. Wait, 663. It made that much money. It'll probably peter out. Maybe it'll reach 700 million. I hope it does for the sake of conversation. So I don't have to say 690 something. I'll just say seven. I'm rounding up either way. This is a $700 million film. I know that's not considered successful or something to be proud of in Marvel, but if we're just talking films in general, that's good. I understand that this Thor movie is making Ant-Man numbers, but even Ant-Man numbers are good. So as far as the money goes, and neener, you like whatever. The movie though was all right. Yeah, some of the jokes were bad, and I'll go with that play that Matt Damon is part of and Liam Hemsworth is part of. Yeah, that's pretty lame. We had a repeat joke. I think they got Melissa McCarthy now to be Hella. That was an update, but it's really the same joke we got in the first movie. However, a bad joke, at worst it's a bad joke, but a bad joke that takes 30 seconds of the screen time isn't that bad, right? Like I can't knock it too much for its bad jokes. I can say that the fighting was cool. Seeing Gore invade New Asgard, that was kind of freaky. And then he had to change his plans to go get the kids. That was unexpected. Never would have thought that had happened from watching the trailers. That was nice. I want to know whether or not Gore was a fighter in his life or did he collect that Necro sword and then did he get powers? I wish we had more scenes with Christian Bale as Gore, but every time he was on screen, even when he was with the kids in the cage, and he was all like playful, and he kind of chopped that bird's head off, remember? And he just threw it away. But when he throws it away, it deflects, bounces off of the cage, and goes onto where the kids are. They're like, "Ah, it's getting closer." That's cool. That's like a villainous thing to do. There's a lot of enjoyment in this movie. The whole special effects of seeing Mjolnir get thrown out and then like it's shattering and it's hitting everybody inside of Olympus, that place. What's going on, Star Wars MCOG? Yeah, that was a cool visual. I liked that part of it. Mike, Taika needs to step away from Marvel what and do Star Wars. Taika needs to be Taika's jokes need to be like when you what do you call it when you go fishing and then you do this the backwards motion. You need to reel it in. Took me a while to get there, but I got there. Taika's jokes needs to be reeled in. Maybe there wasn't that much oversight because Feige's like, yeah, I trust this guy. Ragnarok was a hit. Let's make the goats all obnoxious. Which I don't know. I thought the obnoxious goats were kind of funny. Thinking of that, this director actually wanted to put this in the movie, and every time they're on screen, we hear that noise from them. Maybe you guys all weren't sitting in the proper seat in the theater, but that was funny. Okay, oh, do his own jokey universe. Come on now, Mike. So as far as jokes go, sure, I'll submit to that criticism that jokes in here, a lot of them were not funny. Some were. I laughed when he slept with a wolf on a woman wolf, and it was a woman. Like that was a stupid thing to say, but it was funny to me. Him doing the splits, not funny to me. There was jokes here and there were bad jokes there. Korg was a lot funnier in the first movie, not so much here. Now, the characters. I don't feel like Valkyrie overstayed her welcome. I think they knew that the goal here, a lot of screen time, should be going to Jane Foster. And she even had one of her scenes pulled. We all know that there's actual footage of her getting the powers over in Norway when she touches Mjolnir. That was taken out of the movie. Lot was taken out of the movie at a detriment to it. I think that if this movie was not produced or executively whatever, Bob Chapek, that guy who wants this movie shorter so that they can show up in the theaters for numerous amount of times. That guy made that movie under 2 hours. All Taika needs to do is make a Great Lakes Avengers movie, and oh my god, that is not happening. Think about it, guys. The name Avengers is like this. It's up here. You see here? See this screen. Avengers is up here. To sully it with Young Avengers, West Coast Avengers, Great Lakes, New Avengers, Mighty Avengers. These are the secret Avengers. That's a comic book thing. Movies are not going to do that. They have the Avengers brand is important. That's why we're getting Kang Dynasty in Phase 6, Secret Wars in Phase 6. Big top tier things. All of you fans won't ever complain about it. Azor's Tiger says, "What up, chill? I got a kick out of the movie because we pretty much knew what to expect. You know what I mean? Pretty good movie if you ask me." So I was on the point of just the plot of the film with Gore taking the kids. All right, big surprise. Valkyrie was there, didn't overstay. Jane was there, and they got her a lot of scenes. Gore could have needed more scenes. If this movie was 2 hours and 10 minutes, the way Ragnarok was, if we had 11 more minutes in this movie, you'd probably see Gore in a fight scene, kicking ass. Maybe a little more Lady Sif. Her arm is cut off. Maybe there was a scene in our post-credit joke where you could see her arm in Valhalla. But there was more gore that we were missing that would have made this movie better. I was watching the movie going, "Oh, they're already going to the final battle, huh? That was quick." During my first watch, so it did feel short to me even before I heard anything. Schofield Studio says it's it's Morven time, gore in time. Maybe it is, but that character is gone now. One of the best characters, gone, one and done. Happy Christian Bale offered his talents here. Where are we going to measure gore amongst the MCU villains? I liked Wen Wu a lot. If you're looking at Phase 4, I'd give Gore second place of Phase 4. Better than Kingpin, better than who was in Kamala Khan's show? Kamran? Yeah, that wasn't much of a villain. Phase 4 didn't have many. Scarlet Witch is a pretty good villain, but she's misunderstood. But I'll give Scarlet Witch villain status. So yeah, I got Gore behind Scarlet Witch. She was kind of when she transformed. I just found your channel the other day and watched your video about recasting T'Challa. I agree. I want my diversity to the top 10 and him to be top 5. Thank you, Z Smooth, Z Smooth. Thank you. Like, it's not about just representation like we're doing attendance. Like, we're doing a Thor movie. Oh, I gotta have somebody. Oh, okay, make Astrid the son of Heimdall good. Oh, it's black enough. It's not about that. It's about the top 5 representation. When I think of superheroes and I still think about a whole bunch of white dudes, like, that's not my goal. That's not, I've never advocated for representation. It's about meaningful representation. You said, as a white man myself, I'm ashamed. I'm not commenting on that. Just because you get it, just I don't want to ever be misread, misinterpreted. Love and Thunder is a film where I can see why most people wouldn't like it, but I still enjoyed it, probably because I have low expectations going into it. Damn. Okay, now with me, I had Thor level expectations going into it. I did. And it was worse than what Thor Ragnarok was. It's the same kind of level of Thor Dark World. But Ragnarok wowed me, man. I loved the Ragnarok a lot. Probably give it a 9 out of 10. But going into Thor Love and Thunder, coming out of it, yeah, jokes didn't hit. But the fighting that Gore brought was cool, was good. The scariness, the effects of the colors leaving, things that we saw in the trailer. But still, the surprise wasn't there for that aspect because we knew black and white monochrome was coming in the trailer. But it was still good. One thing that might have made it an 8 out of 10 movie was if at the end, when Gore kind of like, "Oh, I can just wish my daughter back. I choose love." I want like a final stab. I want like a final move, not the villain to win and then kind of change his mind. Because it was the second time in a row we got that. Multiverse of Madness also had a situation where America Chavez kind of spoke to Scarlet Witch, and she realized, oh my, the errors of my ways, because these kids don't accept me in the 838. I'm going away now. It's kind of the second time we didn't have a big expecto patronum moment. Like, we need to end our movies with pizzazz. We did sort of with the fight between Thor and Gore. We had Jane coming in at the end. Her lines were not. Do I have to double down on that, man? Hey, whoa, you don't call me no lady, Thor. It is the Doctor Jane Foster or Mighty Thor. Eat my hammer. I understand Eat My Hammer was supposed to be unironically, a lame joke because she could never do her, her catchphrases. And then she whispered in Thor's ear at the end her catchphrase. The audience wanted to hear the catchphrase. At the end of the movie, I don't want to be teased anymore. Now I want to see the shark. I don't just want to see the fin. Ooh, what is that? I actually want to see what it is. Into the movie Nope, without spoiling it, guys. By the end of the movie, you'll have an understanding of what it is that is up there. That's not a spoiler, but I just maybe yeah, it's not a spoiler. That's not a spoiler. Okay, gore was goreable. See, I could direct a Thor movie. Yeah, right. Does John Walker count as a villain? Yes, and don't let K. Dot tell you otherwise. John Walker is evil. Let's add a couple of more things to this review slash live discussion. My first review of the movie, I don't remember doing one. I've talked about it on 33 questions. But to the new viewer here, Z Smooth, uh, I liked Thor Love and Thunder enough to where I could like vouch for it. I paid to watch it twice because after the first viewing and I would go on the internet and hear people make noise about it, I go, no, let me see it for sure. No, this is an okay movie. Music was cool. Everything as far as the visuals, like via CGI, VFX, all looked like it was Marvel quality. I hope that the Marvel movies delay a, a lot of their movies. No more like, okay, 1 year after it's filmed, it's ready for release. None of that. Make it a year and 4 months. Make it like push things back. Captain Marvel 2 was pushed back. Good news. Let's because it's not like we don't know when the movies are coming out. We find out about these movies and then they announce them at Comic Con as if we never knew that these things were coming. We heard the rumors of Thunderbolts. We knew Falcon was getting a new movie. We know. So if we're gonna know what's going on, you might as well just make the production start a little bit earlier. It doesn't hurt anyone. With all the secret keeping, let's just have the VFX guys have a little bit more time. That's my recommendation to Marvel. If Thor knew about this place where we can wish for everything you want, why wouldn't he just use it after Infinity War if he was overcome with guilt? Okay. He didn't know that the Bifrost was the way there. It's not until he went into Gore's chambers where he could read the wall. And I think Jane was the one who realized, okay, oh, you need the Bifrost. That's the key. He didn't know that. Did you read Aaron's God of Thunder run? No, I did not read much of the Aaron God of Thunder run. However, I've been in the circles, listened to a lot of podcasts where I think I get the gist of it. And how Jane coming towards to the end of the movie where she kind of looks at that hammer and she knows one more transformation would do her in. I got to do the right thing. That is in the book. However, it was not executed well here because it got me questioning how could she arrive at the battlefield so quickly on a Pegasus when the only way you could get there was like a Bifrost? Does the Pegasus have Rainbow Bridge capabilities? We're going to have to tell ourselves that. She was feeling every blow. Oh, every time Thor got hit, the camera would cut to her. So as Thor was getting his ass whooped, she was in the bed. You can't tell me that she was traveling on her way during Thor's fight. She just got there really quickly, and that was unexplained to me. Then again, you can use plot holes against any MCU movie at this point. You can use plot holes, but sometimes because it's science fiction, they can figure out a reason to fill in that plot hole. Everything with Captain America and how he got really old, even though the rules of time mean that he would have to leave this branched reality. How could he return to the same branch reality? Even though that's a question, doesn't matter. Because you could explain that the MCU is a branched reality the whole time. I'd have to explain that better, but this is not the video for that. Mr. Immortal has been rumored to appear in She-Hulk, and that means we are a little bit closer to seeing the most diverse Avengers lineup to make their grand introduction in the MCU. I don't know who Mr. Immortal is, and I don't like representation. I like meaningful representation. So because I don't know who Mr. Immortal is, what he looks like, what demographic he represents, I kind of don't want him because I know he's not top 5. Did your circle make you question Gore's role in the movie? Did your circle? Oh, my circle, like the people I watch. Nah, because he's the Gore, the God's butcher. He his origin is consistent. He was someone who always prayed, and then, oh, these are what gods are, quote unquote gods. Okay, let's end these gods. I hate that word God. There's only one God. That's not, you can't pluralize the creator of the world. They should use other words for it. Oh, that makes sense. Then again, couldn't he had just summoned his axe when Gore had it? Again, you need to push logic out of the way sometimes when watching a movie. Suppose, yeah, yes, you could always just summon that axe. Ugh. Maybe he didn't want to bring Gore with him. See, I got you. Schofield, you're gonna get me eventually. Do you think someone named Gore, the God Butcher, should maybe, oh, I don't know, butcher more than one? There was probably a scene where he whoops everyone's ass over an omnipotent city. Now that omnipotent city have a vendetta against Thor right now, that we better see that play out. That post credit scene seeing Hercules, we better see that play out. Yeah, who is Mr. Immortal? Should I Google that? Let's Google Mr. Immortal, everybody. I'm gonna Google Mr. Immortal. Marvel. That should be a DC character. Okay, his name is Craig Hollis, and he was invented superhuman ability of immortality. Well, given. Oh, look, this artwork looks recent. When was he created? In 1989 from the West Coast Avengers. His affiliation and relationships, uh, Great Lakes. He's got parents. Good to know. He's got a spouse, and he's got a soul. He got a soulmate. Oh, John Byrne created. There you go. Let me just get to his powers. Hold on. Physical characteristic. No. That would be not living status. He's from Wisconsin. Where do they put the superpowers? Hawkeye. Okay, there we go. So he's just really durable, huh? Nice to know. He's supreme and evolution stage beyond what humans are and what mutants are. Okay. Retroactive immortality and a healing factor. Does he fly though? Nah. He's just a regular old guy with no energy projection and he can heal. That doesn't sound too special to me. Let's read a couple more of you guys here. I think it's smart to have Gore show up at the same time Jane becomes a god, even if he only killed one. I hope Thor returns to being serious again. If Taika Waititi does Star Wars, yes, you'll get a new director for the Thor franchise, and it'll be serious, I assume, or less jokey. I like the fish out of water style of jokes more so than I like the Taika Waititi style of jokes with Thor himself. Bring back a comic book writer. Member of Great Lakes Avengers was a thing for back in the late 80s. I do not remember this, no. And there's a reason why, man. Anytime you use the Avengers and you kind of use a sub name for them, it's never a successful thing. Skip and Tosh, hello there. They did say Gore killed a few gods, but we should have actually seen. Yeah, you're right. Not the distress signal. We should have seen it. And then we could have been like, okay, so those are his moves. They established that he does the stab in this way. We're going to watch out for that when he fights Thor. And then he does it to Thor. But because Thor is our hero, Thor has a way to reverse it. Come on, guys. It's pro wrestling. The real glimpse of how dangerous he is. You just wasted Christian Bale. Christian Bale still gave some great performances. I think he was like two scenes short of him being fully realized or not underused. Richado says, Mr. Immortal is the leader of the GLA and their lineup consists of plus size superheroine, original black superhero, I don't know, people of color, gender fluid, furry, original homosexual superhero. North Star? I'm gonna guess that means North Star. Oh, I know who the plus size one is. Squirrel Girl. I know that much. They also should have given Bale a chance to bulk up too. Whatever. That's fine. He was all CGI'd and like the black and white took over his appearance. I wasn't gonna be Like, ah, wish he was a little bit muscler. That he had his appearance. I'm surprised no one noticed the guards at Omnipotent City were yeah, they were automatons. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I never noticed this. I noticed the Celestials there, and I thought, oh yeah, Eternals is a movie in this phase. Maybe this is where we're finally gonna find out what their relationship is. Maybe we'll see Eros, the Star Fox guy. Maybe. But no, we just kind of just saw Celestials. They were there for the sake of it. That's just somebody in the CGI chair was like, oh, we should probably do this. Why not? That's probably where that decision was made. You rather die here or live long enough? Yeah. When I again, this was a 600 maybe 700 million dollar movie. That is the number that Marvel is going to be doing for the next few. Doctor Strange made 900. Wakanda Forever is going to be in that 700 neighborhood if you consider that it is a November release, and November releases don't make a billion. None from the MCU have. I think that the movie was a disappointment, not a failure, not a flop, just under under underperformed. If it had a Chinese release, that's probably another 100 million right there, and we could say, "Oh, look, it made 800 million, just like Ragnarok." But it didn't have the Chinese release. So in a way it's just like Ragnarok, but it won't get the benefit of that. The guards in the ring they were fighting, were they? Okay, then good to know. That is what a automaton is. I think I'm done talking. I don't ever want to waste your guys' time. There's 8 of you watching the live stream. Thank you. Thumbs it up. And if no one has anything else to say, I'll go one more minute and then I'll close out. Thor: Love and Thunder, the title and what's going to happen in the future with Love being the daughter of Gore. And they casted Chris Hemsworth kid to be Love. That's interesting. They might do a recast there. They did it with Ant-Man and Wasp where Cassie will be played by a new actress. I think they'll do that recast. But what happens with Love in the future? I don't know. Haven't seen the movie, but Gore Gore made to be buff. That's all I care about. The reason Doctor Strange made that much is because Chapek has not returned Marvel for the 90 days in theaters. Good point. And when we talk about Black Panther: Will Funeral for Cheddar, that movie is gonna have a 45-day release, and then it'll be out in Disney Plus. People are gonna be like, "Well, I don't need to see this." When you think of the first movie, that thing has longevity. That movie was making money even in day 45. People are gonna go into that movie like, I can just wait. I'll watch it at home. Great stream. Have a torrent. Oh my god. And on that note, if you dislike the video, I understand. It's all Schofield's fault. Toodles. Ooh. Look, I got two more. Don't tell Stormbreaker. I like the relationship between Stormbreaker and Mjolnir and Thor. Uh, yeah, he wouldn't switch her for Mjolnir. In Endgame, though. Oh, thank you. In Avengers Endgame, don't you remember he gave the hammer to Chris Evans and he's like, "Oh, you have the little one." Okay, but you do have a relationship with Mjolnir. You do miss Mjolnir. What's happening? Maybe because it wasn't his Mjolnir. It was another universe's Mjolnir, and that's why. All right. That makes sense to me now. I really enjoyed the movie. Definitely a disappointment, but I enjoyed what Thor's journey was in the movie. Very much tied into his overall journey in the MCU. And he also, Skip and Tosh adds also, he loved the little drama between Hammer and Person. Love got Stormbreaker and Thor went back to Mjolnir. I like that. Hold on one second. And I really got choked up at the end. I was not choked up at the end, as I'm a single father also. So that last scene was really touching to me. I can see why. Okay, bye now. Did Groot's arm give Stormbreaker emotions? This is a burning question.